In this section, we'll start a series of videos on working with text files. If you are working in the area of network automation, system administration, data science, or machine learning, reading and writing files is very common. In this lecture, we'll see how to read text files with Python. In order to read or write files, you don't need to import a module. It's handled natively in the language. The first thing you'll need to do is to use Python's built-in open function to get a file object. When you use the open function, it returns something called a file object. File objects contain methods and attributes that can be used to collect information about the file you opened and to manipulate the file. Let's create a file object simply called f equals open the function that returns the file object, and its first argument is the file name. In this example, there is a file in the current working directory called configuration.txt. Here, you should use a valid absolute or relative path according to your operating system. Please note that using an invalid path is a common mistake. Then, the second argument, which is optional, is called access mode or simply mode and indicates how the file will be opened. The most used modes are read, write, and append. We'll see examples with different modes, but for the moment, let's open the file in read-only mode. This is also the default, so if you don't specify a mode, it will be opened in read-only mode. You should know that in Python, a file is categorized as either text or binary, and the difference between the two file types is important. Text files are structured as sequence of lines, where each line includes a sequence of characters and terminates with a special character called EOL or end of line. This is coded as a \n. A binary file is any type of file that is not a text file. Because of their nature, binary files can only be processed by an application that knows or understands the file's structure. We can specify if we work with a text file using the T letter, or B if we work with a binary file. Binary files are photos, PDF files, executable files, and so on. By default, Python considers the file as being a text file. Now, having the file opened, let's see how to access and print out the data within the file. The first method we'll take a look at is read. It reads and returns the entire content of the file as a string. Content equals f.read and print content. Let's execute the script. And we see how it read and printed out the entire content of the file. When we are all done with the file, we must close it. There is an attribute of the file object called closed that is true if the file is closed and false otherwise. Let's see its value, f.closed. And I'll execute the script. And the value of this attribute is false. This means that the file is not closed. In order to close the file, I must call the close method, f.close. And I'll print the value of the closed attribute one more time. We see that after calling the close method, the closed attribute is true. This means that here the file is already closed. This was the basics of reading files with Python. In the next lectures, we'll see many other examples on how to handle files with Python.